2015. It is an integrated agriculture and nutrition project aimed at improving the food and nutrition security situation of smallholder tree crops in Sierra Leone. Specifically, the project focuses on achieving enhanced nutrition consumption of food, safe water and income for smallholders through agricultural diversification and water well development. Also, we have interventions on increased income through reinforced tree crop value chains, that is cashew, cocoa and coffee, in recognition of the fact that increased income production alone is not sufficient to achieve remarkable improvements in nutrition. A nutrition-sensitive the land approach is incorporated within the project to promote good nutrition, sanitation and hygiene practices, increased access to safe water and women empowerment.
We do provide services on certification schemes. What we do exactly is that we prepare farmers, traders to be able to comply to the different certification standards. To date, we have been working on various certification standards, starting from UTZ, which is UTZ, organic certification, fair trade, and also Rainforest Alliance certification. Our work is to make sure that the farmers fully understand and comply to these different standards and the code of conduct of these certification schemes. To date, I think the impact that we have created, when you walk right through the streets of Kenema, and most of the produce growing areas, you will see that some of them do have signs in front of their stores saying organic certified or UTZ, which is UTZ certified. Okay? This means that these farmers have been able to fulfill all of the obligations of certification. So our job, like I said, is to make sure that they fully understand and are able to comply and administer the standards, okay, to the letter. What we do, we first start with what we call diagnostic. Okay, the diagnostic itself, we see what is in place and what is not in place. We set up what is called an ICS, or internal control system. For us, we believe that certification is a process. It is a process in the sense that for it to become sustainable, the farmers and the trader, we have certified or assist over 30,000 cocoa, coffee farmers to be certified under the various certification schemes that I have mentioned, okay, which is UTZ, organic, fair trade, okay. In country right now, we don't have any organization that has been Rainforest Alliance certified. But since there is a merger between Rainforest Alliance and UTZ, so it's only a matter of time before we will have farmers that will be Rainforest Alliance certified. Okay. Well, our training, we usually use a stepwise approach. Okay. We cluster farmers according to the proximity of their villages. Okay. We have numerators that goes there and train them. Okay. And set up their internal control system, all of the necessary documentation that they will come, that the external auditor will come to audit are in place.
Alibas is an exporting company. We are in buying produce and exporting to various parts of the world. This company started since 2001. At the start of the program, we were just buying conventionally, buying produce, cocoa and coffee from different types of farmers. But as we went along, an intervention by the Welthungerhilfe, WHH, created the awareness that certification is a very key aspect in produce buying. So we were encouraged to join the certification scheme. We started with UTZ, with 5,000 farmers. and we are able to certify 5,000 farmers. And prior to joining the certification scheme, our export tonnage was around 2,500 metric tons. But then as we joined the scheme, there are various requirements, various standards to meet. So that limited the supply of the cocoa. But as I speak to you now, we have even upgraded to organic certification with a caseload of about 7,000 farmers in 4 cocoa producing districts: Bo, Kenema, Kono, and Kailao.
What we are doing now, we are collaborating very closely, working with the Produce and Monitoring Board, that is PMB, on trainings on quality and certification, and also trying to check on the international market requirements, mostly on standards and certification, and what is the requirements of the international markets. The current certification of cocoa and coffee in Sierra Leone is that there is a lot of improvement since intervention of Welthungerhilfe, and we already have 29,000 smallholder producers who have been trained and certified within our program, and they are on different certification schemes, that is organic and UTS. And we are also trying to integrate more private certification schemes like Demeter or Naturland, BioSwiss, and others, so that we can have a broad diversity we can have a diversity of markets, and also targeting to get more premiums from the niche markets of the private standards.
As one of the development partners, first of all, I need to inform you that we are working in consortium with Welthunger and InterAid. So these are the consortium partners to KUPI. Now, as far as this trade is concerned, we brought in farmers from the cashew sector from the 4 districts. Lagrana Bombali farmers are here, and we are expecting today farmers from Cambia, and then the other day we have farmers from Putloko. We bring them to come here to share ideas and learn more experience. But on a more serious note, we have discovered that KUPI is the organization in the whole show that has brought this improvised nut cracker, which is actually a labor-saving device to crack the nuts. And we have brought a lot of products from the cashew sector. You can see over there the processed cashew. We have the beehive components. We're introducing bees into the cashew orchards with the idea of them improving the pollination and then therefore higher yields. And we have this is a honey product from the cashew orchards in the north. We have the beehives, we have the bee shoots, we have the safety boots, and all these other gadgets, just so that we can have a harmonized or integrated approach with respect to bee components into the cashew orchard. KUPI is working in the cashew sector, blending it to the honey production. We're introducing honey into the cashew orchards with the view of increasing production. We're operating in Bombali, Putloko, Cambia, and Karine districts. So far, we have targeted about 3,000 farmers, trained them in the cashew sector. We provide them tools and other inputs, provide them seedlings, and a lot of trainings with respect to good agricultural practices, and all these kind of things, so that we can have increased production of cashew. You know that cashew, for now, is actually not too high in Sierra Leone compared to other countries. But with our efforts, we are trying to increase production so that we can be able to match with the other countries in West Africa.
I have learned a lot of this cashew processor. Let me say thank you to KUPI, because without KUPI, I can't learn anything about cashew. KUPI came in Sierra Leone. They show us how to process cashew. Then they show us how to add value of the cashew. But now, presently, we are benefiting on the cashew processing presently. Now, for me, without cashew, I'm not living according to, because I know the benefits that I'm having presently in cashew processing. Before, we don't have this machine, but now presently, Kupi has already given us this machine for us to learn how to process it well. Before we are using this local processing, which is stone and any other thing that we are using down to process it. But now, we say thank you to Kupi because they have given us this machine for us to be process it well.
Actually, yes, there is a trade fair that I've started today, and we are participating as WHH as one of the key players in cocoa and coffee production in Sierra Leone. We are exhibiting what we have been training the farmers in terms of production and quality control of cocoa. So we are one of the key players and participants of the trade fair that is happening today. We are expecting all the key players in the value chain to participate, from the farmers, students, exporters, government officials, and all the players in the cocoa sector. Service providers also as well are not left out. And this is everybody is free to come at the trade fair. But our main targets are smallholder producers, exporters, and also the government institutions. We have started training the government staff who are involved in the cocoa and coffee value chain. And we have already trained the national staff of Produce and Monitoring Board on certification and traceability. And at the moment, we are consulting with the Minister of Agriculture and Forestry to see how we can train the staff also in all the districts, so that they can also have know-how and the concept of the market requirements, that is the standards that we look at in the international markets, as well as certification.
The government is introducing now are in a long-term planning process, and usually we are invited to such meetings. So we are fully aware what the government idea is. We also have some experts from this side give their input. So, and then it was never a problem, since the government is exactly on the same line as we are. So what we say is, within the value chain, too much money is lost where other people than farmers make their profit. And what we are trying to get is that farmers have a higher income, and that the value chain, the bigger part of the value chain, will be established in Sierra Leone. And then the final product should be exported. Can be Europe, can be the States, but can also be a country like here, Guinea, or what is directly neighboring. So, but the point is that the income should stay in Sierra Leone and not go overseas.
I'd like to thank you all also for having us here. Thanks a lot.
We have worked with WHH on several platforms. They have been providing, for instance, I think some 2 months ago, there is a fellow called George. They went there, they provided technical support for our farmers, for our staff to have training in certification, which they did. And in a number of ways, for instance, we are also partnering with them in the 3 districts, Kenema, Kailaun, and Kono, to provide block farms, which we have already established. And even in this show, they are partners here. So we have been partnering with them in a number of ways. So I think for now, we are very happy with their engagement and their involvement in most of our activities. It's important because it is what gives farmers premium, right? It is the body that is responsible to let farmers aware of the quality that is needed in the international market. So this is the reason why we let them have our staff trained, and our staff in return, we escalate it to our farmers, so for them to understand what are some of the considerations people or the international market look at when they want to buy their product. That's the reason why certification is very important. The WHS is within the community. They have village saving, they have other programs, and that is very impactful. It's helping the local farmers out there, right? But for the certification training, we are hoping that as time goes by, we'll have the impact. Quality issue is a process. It's not a constant or something very instantaneous, that you will go today and then quality will come. No, quality is a process, it's over the years. We can't tell you that the impact is actually felt, because one thing, we have various interventions across the country, not just WHH, but WHH are doing their own bit and other bodies are doing theirs. So on a general scale, we are moving from where our produce used to be one that was rejected at the international market to one that is now accepted. In fact, just some months ago, our cocoa was assessed within the best 50 cocoa in the world.
The 50 Best 2019 Excellence Award Certificate presented to you, Mr. Sir Bangura, Sierra Leone, proudly presents this to you. Thank you very much. So on behalf of the government and the president, I want to take this opportunity for formally open the 3rd Agricultural Produce Fair, organized by the Sierra Leone Produce Monitoring Board. I thank you all, I thank you, and thank you.